Donald Trump is 78 years old and barely coherent, but there is only a fraction of the discussion in corporate media of Trump's incoherence as there was compared to Joe Biden after the June 27th debate. This is a story we've been following for a very long time at this point. USA Today has a nice article about it by Rex Hupke. The article is called "Trump is 78 and barely coherent. Where's everyone who questioned Biden's age and fitness? Where are the headlines screaming deranged old man peddles nonsense while threatening violent deportation of immigrants?" And Rex goes through in this article and kind of summarizes just recently Trump's incoherence. His answer here about how will you bring down the cost of childcare, which was a verbal ink blot, just nonsense. And the argument that Rex makes, and it's an accurate argument and it's a good one, is that Donald Trump's bizarre rants get sanitized, whereas Biden got no special treatment. And that's absolutely correct. It is absolutely, completely and totally obvious that that's what's happening. We've talked about the term sane washing. Trump gives a completely disjointed response, and it's summarized as Trump spoke passionately. Really? Not necessarily how I would summarize it. So what really needs to be understood here is that there is really no way to maintain even a semblance of Trump as a real candidate unless you completely ignore the incoherence and the obvious decline. How many mental health and medical professionals have we now had analyzing what's happening to Trump from a mental health standpoint, from a neurological standpoint, from a dementia Alzheimer's standpoint, from a cult standpoint, from an ego narcissism standpoint? And yet, partially assisted by the corporate media's refusal, dare I say this guy doesn't make any sense. Is this guy stable? He seems worse than Biden on most days. That is part of why this continues to happen. Now, you'll occasionally hear, Jessica Tarlov on Fox News will say, "Did you guys see that rant? It didn't make any sense." Trump talks about needing ID to buy bread. He talks about the president is Obama, or he's running against Obama, or he's running against Hillary, or he defeated Obama, or whatever. You occasionally see it. But if this was being handled responsibly, and I would say even just objectively by corporate media, we would have been seeing stories about Trump's decline dating back years rather than the occasional, he was a little bit jumbled here and there. And then one other thing I want to say about this. If you want to talk about double standards, Trump said he doesn't want your vote in an election if you voted for Nikki Haley, or if you're Jewish and you're thinking voting Democrat, or large swath of voters that he goes, don't give a damn, don't need him, don't want him. Imagine if Kamala Harris had done that. It would be months of coverage in corporate media, but almost nothing when it's Trump that says it. Imagine if a Democrat ran for president, convicted of 34 felonies, owing tens of millions of dollars for defaming his sexual assault victim, as Trump does, owing money for business and tax fraud, facing all sorts of other charges, which through reasons we don't really know, but they include judges you've selected helping you out, are getting the cases pushed off beyond the election. Imagine if a Democrat were running with that record, what we would be seeing in corporate media. Think what happened when Barack Obama wore a tan suit. So as we talked about with Tristan Snell earlier this week, the justice system seems weaponized in favor of Donald Trump. The corporate media infrastructure seems weaponized in favor of Donald Trump. And so the only solution, I spoke with Mark Elias about it, spoke about it with Brian Tyler Cohen and Tyler Brian Cohen and Tyler Cohen as well. Everybody's been speaking to me about it. We need a victory so large that they can't figure out a way to steal it. And we put Trump in the dustbin of history. That's what needs to happen with Trump. It's what needs to happen with MAGA. Will it happen? Well, we'll know in just a few weeks. I've got good news and bad news, and they're both the same. We'll know the answer in just a few weeks.